Thanks for checking out Kotaku Bonsai.
So hi everybody, today we're going to be showing you some junipers that Dave brought home a few months ago. Big beautiful junipers that we had at the side of our house. And so we brought them home, potted them up, they looked great, and now they have died. So, Dave, tell them what you're going to do.
So rather than just tossing them on the scrap heap or cutting them up for trash, we are going to strip them down and eventually, not all today, but eventually carve them out into the deadwood and make a Tanuki or phoenix graft and salvage what we've got. So we'll show you what we're going to do. Stay tuned. This is going to take a couple of episodes. Here we go. So here's one of them sitting here. I've already taken them out of the pots that they were in. Just dead as a doornail. You can see all the root mass that I brought with them. It looked great at the time. I was very hopeful. But they're dead. There's no bringing them back. This one has its trunk and roots right there. And here is the third one. If you haven't seen the video I posted about uprooting these, you go back, take a look. I'll show you what I did. Here again, it had a really nice root mass when I dug it up, but you know, it was midsummer and it was a 50-50 shot. And obviously we tried and we lost. So now we're going to strip all the foliage off and get it down to the wood. We'll preserve the deadwood, the heartwood. And over time we'll make some Tanuki, some phoenix graft, and hopefully salvage what we got. Okay, so we're going to be cutting off the foliage and just trying to strip it down to the bare wood. I'm going to use a big sharp knife. So I've got some really thick gardening gloves, leather gloves for protection. I got this beauty. I think my dad gave me this knife when I was like 12 years old, and I still have it. It's a big Rambo style survival knife, and I sharpened it up recently, so it should cut pretty well. On these dead trees, I'm not looking for perfection right now. I'm just trying to strip it down to the bare wood, or at least get it close to that point so it can start drying out further. And over the coming weeks it'll get drier and drier, and we'll continue to refine the wood, strip off any remaining bark, and get it down to a place where we can apply gin seal or lime sulphur and preserve it and make it look pretty, and then continue it into developing a phoenix graft or a Tanuki. So I'm just going to start the process of getting off all this stuff, and I'm not looking for refining it right now. We can carve it, we can style it however we want to down the road, but right now it's about just cleaning up the mess, getting all the dead foliage off, and getting it down to the bare wood. So it's going to take me a while to strip all of the old foliage off of these three. But like I said, today I'm not worried about making it super pretty. I'm not worried about the final product today. I'm just trying to strip it down to the heartwood or close to that, so these can continue to dry out and harden up, so that we'll have something to work with here in the coming weeks and months. So I'm going to get back to work. I'm going to strip all the foliage off of these, and when I'm done, we'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like after that. All right, stay tuned. So here's a shot of the first one I've been working on. You can see I left the the tips because I'm certainly not going to need the full height of this. But you know, here we are down to the basic trunk and the structure of it all. And there's some possibility here. So down the road, excuse me, Mr. Lanternfly, sorry. Probably YouTube doesn't want that on their guidelines, but here we go. So I'm gonna take the roots down, expose the trunk. You know, we could have a pretty neat trunk line that way, so I could carve that off maybe. That seems like it would be too straight. But to develop some movement, if we took that off down the road, I think that would be pretty cool. Taper that. If we could taper this to make something pretty nice. So proportionally, for a finished product, if that trunk is roughly, 2.5, 3 inches in diameter, that'll give us 18-inch tall finished product, going by a 1:6 ratio. So I'm certainly not going to need all of those. The ends. So over there in that little box, I have a handheld chainsaw, and it's a pretty neat little device, and I'm going to bust it out and I'm going to cut the tops off. So I'm not here to sell products, but I got this for my birthday and I'm pretty excited about it. So let's see how it does, huh? Okay, so that took literally like 30 seconds to use a handheld chainsaw to take off those end points. And I think this has got a lot of potential. So it's a thick, substantial trunk. It's got some neat other branches coming off. It's got movement. There's lots of possibilities. And just like in carpentry, I left it long because we can always carve it back, but you can't add on. So there's our first one. I like that. Here's some progress on the second one. And I already took the ends off with the handheld chainsaw, just so it was kind of unruly. And I knew I wouldn't need all that up top. So this is about 4 feet tall. Here's the trunk. Again, it's pretty substantial, but plenty of options here. Do we want to take that off? This seems to be the main trunk line that would be really beautiful. This thing has about a 90-degree bend to it. Do we keep it or not? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Right now, we're just doing a really, really rough cut and trying to salvage the wood. So I'll keep working, keep sweating. Here is number 2. So I got all the dead foliage off, cut it down to within a reasonable length of what I think I'll need in the future. Again, this is totally going to be carved up for a final product months or years down the road. So there's no rush here. But lots of possibilities. What if we cut that off? Or what if we take it there, maybe? It's really fun to take this down to the Deadwood, preserve it, and then graft a live juniper onto this. It really has so much potential for a lifelong piece of art that will live and grow with you. On to number 3. Okay, here's number 3 already. And what I did this different. I just took the handheld chainsaw and just straight up took the tops off to bring it down to a little bit more manageable size. You know, using the common 1:6 ratio for a finished bonsai tree. I don't need this to be any more than, 2.5, 3 feet tall maybe. So this was a 7 or 8 footer, so I could easily chop it in half and I'll still have plenty of material to work with. So now I'm just going to hack off all the dead foliage and get it down to the main structure. And here is number 3. Very straight. It's a very straight trunk. So here again, a couple of different possibilities on how we style it for the long term. I can imagine taking this one and just, making a little feature right there, keeping it close to the trunk. Maybe we have it go off to the left, maybe have it straight and it's real nice and straight up top. Who knows? I'll figure that out later. For now, it's just really nice to clean up my mess, start the project, get this to start drying out further. It is still so hot here in Pennsylvania. It's early August and it is just sweltering. So over the next weeks and months, these will just dry out just like that. So I'll just put them in the corner, put them in the sun, let them dry. Probably over the fall, over the winter, I'll strip all the remaining cambium and bark and get it down to the heartwood. And then we'll preserve it with some gin seal, some lime sulphur. Here's the mess I made. It's hot and I'm hungry for dinner. So I'm going to set this project down for now. Please check back with us. I'm going to have lots of updates and I'll show you the progress on how they turn from a dead stump into hopefully something that's a respectable Tanuki. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one.